Mahmood, Mustafa. Candidate number 0444. Meddling with genetics. Meddling with genetics. Since its discovery by Dr. Francis Crick in 1953, the DNA has intrigued humans with its complexity and behaviour. These genetic information are the blueprint of life. DNA is a hereditary material that allows all forms of life to function and develop. You might be thinking, why am I talking about this? Why is this relevant to us? And why did the NHS spend over £2 billion on the Human Genome Project? We've all learnt about the DNA and the possibility of the presence of faulty genes in our GCSE biology course. Screening the genome of young or unborn children could allow early detection of devastating diseases and potential disorders, including haemophilia, phenylketonuria, and even Alzheimer's. You might be thinking, how is this relevant to the teenage demographic? Although I do think that sporadic forgetfulness is a cause of concern. Although an excellent concept, this method faces many ethical questions. So, will parents make reproductive decisions about certain genes? And will individuals with certain inferior alleles face discrimination? And will individuals, perhaps any one of us, with abnormalities be discouraged from reproducing? Gene mapping could be extensively beneficial for the whole society, as it will allow scientists to develop targeted treatments for what we once thought was untreatable. Preventive care is also promised for humanity through gene mapping. This includes annual screening, vaccinations, and even counselling. On the other side, the screening of IVF embryos, genetic screening of IVF embryos, increases the frequency of discarding them. But wouldn't this be considered an abortion case? An opportunity of a life denied? And who is to say that a child with Down syndrome, for example, is less in the eyes of society? Don't they deserve to live? Isn't this almost indistinguishable from the heinous Nazi ideology, which determines who is allowed to live and who is sent to death? You may propose that medical professionals should only carry out genetic screening on children in the early years of life. But let me outline to you the personal and ethical and societal implications of doing such. So consider a parent with a child, a 1-year-old child, who was advised to genetically screen him. And the results came back delineating the presence of a faulty allele, which increases the chance of developing ovarian cancer, perhaps in the future. Truthfully, the parent and the close relatives of the child will be worried and will suffer from anxiety and distress. But also the healthcare system of that particular country will suffer, as it's obliged to support the patient and the parent. Personally, I find the views of the bioethicist John Harris very challenging when he states that the human genome is not perfect. It's ethically imperative to positively support this technology. However, I have a firm belief that the enhancements must be limited to the things that actually affect our health, not endeavouring to produce invincible and quintessential humans. As science quickly unravels the mysteries of the DNA, scientists are slowly transforming themselves into Victor Frankenstein, from slowly genetically engineering crops and to developing designer babies. If you're not familiar with that term, designer babies is a term used in the scientific community to describe fetuses with certain advantageous and preferred alleles in the hope to create a better future comprising of superhumans. The act of consciously upgrading children to be stronger, fitter and smarter is a violation against nature, a violation against the laws of nature, a violation against humanity, and a violation against the child's identity. However, it can be argued that genetically modified children would be healthier and thus have lower healthcare